back inside UD Arena. The last time the first four was played here, everything you saw right there wasn't there. It's all totally new. It's a beautiful place. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for both teams. Nothing different than we expected for Indiana, but there is a difference when it comes to Wyoming. Hunter Thompson will start for Wyoming. They want to go bigger. So Jeremiah Oden, who has started every game so far for Wyoming, will come off the bench. Let's go to John Rothstein.
Well, Tom, Indiana will play an NCAA tournament game tonight, but when Mike Woodson first got the job last spring, he wasn't sure if he would have a team. In the first team meeting that Indiana had after Woodson was named head coach, he asked his players who was all in. Nobody raised their hand. Nevertheless, he recalibrated the program. Indiana plays an NCAA tournament game tonight. Meanwhile, Wyoming, after last season, lost the Mountain West Freshman of the Year in Marcus Williams, who transferred to Texas A&M. But all things are well in Laramie. Tom, we've got an upstart from Laramie. We've got a blue blood back in the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
Only 3 words can describe it, guys. This is March.
That's exactly right. I thought Mike Woodson was really funny when he was describing the conversation with his team. He probably didn't think it was funny back when he did it, but now he does. He said, I went home to my wife and I said, what am I going to do? But he was able to get everybody to come back. And he said that Trayce Jackson-Davis was the key to get him back.
Yeah, he said he had to re-recruit him.
Yep.
Because he was thinking about going to the NBA. He was very honest with Trayce Jackson-Davis and his family. And it's going to pay off for him. He's helping him expand his game a little bit more. He wants him to shoot a few more outside shots.
Yes. Well, he'll get his first touch of the night working against EK. Goes up strong off the front of the rim, and he gets it to go.
Strong use of the back down dribble and the shoulder into the sternum. Keep the defender ground bound, and then be able to shoot that little jump hook over the top.
Yeah, we'll watch that tonight because these are two teams that are among the leaders in the country in post moves and touches. EK lost it. It was knocked away by Trayce Thompson. Xavier Johnson up the floor. Miller popped for 3, no good. And the rebound corralled by Jeffries.
It'll be interesting to see from a post-defensive standpoint what type of defensive strategy and that each team's going to have. Are you going to play single coverage, no help? Are you going to dig, which Indiana was digging on that last play?
And Hunter Thompson off the bench to can the first 3 of the night.
Have a hunch, bet a bunch. Thompson on point, delivers.
Making his 3rd start of the season. Again, Jeremiah Oden is usually the starter at that spot. So he covers Trayce Thompson up top. 3-2, Wyoming's on top.
I think Coach Linder was concerned some about rebounding and size.
Jackson-Davis for a 2nd time, no good. Trayce Thompson with the rebound, put back no good. He'll get another chance. It'll have to come to the free throw line.
Yep, and here Indiana decides to double, and it's a different kind of strategy. They're doubling off the passer here, and now Wyoming made them pay. Nice recognition that about Hunter Maldonado, and that's a problem for Indiana because his size, he's 6'7", and he's got a 6'2" guy guarding him. That's a significant advantage.
Yeah, and on that possession too, Coach, they didn't really ever trap. They were more stabbing at the ball, stunting, and makes it easier to throw a precise pass to the shooter on the perimeter. If they're going to trap, go ahead and trap. If you're going to stunt, then stunt. That was a no man's land.
Yeah, so Thompson missed the free throw, and it was touched last by Wenzel, who actually picked up the foul. And Indiana will get it back with 20 on the shot clock. Here's Xavier Johnson, the transfer from Pitt. He averaged 15.5 points per game as a freshman at Pitt. Trayce Thompson backing it against Hunter Thompson. To the baseline, no good. And Jackson-Davis thought he had the rebound, he lost it. And it was picked up by Wenzel.
Well, you can feel the physicality.
Yes.
Both teams inside. Rebounding is going to be a huge key. Getting second shots.
And Wenzel can't can the 3. The rebound is pulled down by Indiana. And here comes Johnson right into the front court. And the rebound for Jeffries.
Yeah, never got his balance. Low percentage shot. Good to attack the paint and the rim, but you want to maneuver the pace where you can finish with high percentage looks or to dish the ball to a teammate.
Here's Maldonado. He likes to back his way in. He's a former forward playing point guard. He's got some size, and his shot is blocked away by Jackson-Davis. Johnson leaves it inside for Trayce Thompson. A little bit of a bobble. And he put it on the deck, heads to the cup, and doesn't get the roll. Jeffries with the rebounds.
I like the look.
Hunter Thompson is injured. I don't know if he's got hit in the face.
Yeah, he got hit in the chops. So he's immediately off the floor, and the athletic trainer is going to take a look at him. And that'll send Oden into the game. Guys, this Wyoming team, it's not that deep. So if they get in foul trouble or if they have injuries, it's problematic for Jeff Linder.
Yeah, it's a 6-man rotation on occasion. Seventh or eighth man comes in, but really it's a 6 that Coach Linder has confidence in. He's built cohesiveness with that 6-man rotation.
The veteran Roger Ayers is taking a look at that. And Thompson's still being looked at on the sidelines.
And one of the things Coach Linder talked about was getting his best 6 players in tip-top shape.
Well, here they turn down the screen. Xavier Johnson just takes it baseline after lifting that Wyoming defense, and it's tough to see where. Didn't see any.
Yeah, it was before that scenario. I wonder if it happened as he was coming up the floor. Again, Roger Ayers is taking a look at it. Vlad Voyard Tadal. All right, John Rossi, what do you got?
Well, guys, Hunter Thompson was ill before the game. He didn't feel well before the game, so showing some symptoms here early. Tom will monitor this moving forward right now. He is currently seeking attention from the medical staff, and it looks like they're going to send him right now back to the locker room, Tom.
Yeah, so he's heading in.
No contact.
No contact, yep. Maldonado, bounce pass to Ike. Ike is blocked away by Jackson-Davis. It's back to Ike, though. That's his second block already. He has 81 on the year. Ike from the baseline, tough shot. And the weak side rebound by Johnson.
Well, really impressed with Jackson-Davis's defense early to start this game. Weak side protection. We saw it in game 1.
Parker Stewart heads to the basket, palms it off the glass. I think that was helped by Wyoming. I think somebody got their hand on it. May have been Jeffries, and it pinballed off the glass.
Almost a ricochet with velocity off the window. More like someone playing pool.
That looked like one of my putts. But it just, my putts don't go in all the time.
The short game's not your strength. One more time, we take a look. Almost lost control and then regained and slapped it off the glass and in.
Yeah, I thought Oden may have gotten a piece of it, but he didn't. That foul, by the way, was on Parker Stewart, his first. Jeffries covered out front by Stewart. There's Maldonado, tries to cross over, but Kopp was there to knock it to the ground, and Indiana with the basketball. Xavier Johnson.
Indiana showing their defensive chops. That's been their strength, fellas, all season long. An elite defense.
They go inside to Jackson-Davis, and he's fouled by Ike on the floor. 15:49 to play here in the first half. Pretty physical so far. Indiana's on top by 1. Watch live men's games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Scan the QR code now to download. I don't know if it's nail biter time just yet, but we might be getting there. How about Mike Woodson? It was great to talk to him yesterday. Welcome home. He was an outstanding player at Indiana under Bob Knight. 2,061 career points. Went on to be a heck of an NBA coach.
Yeah, really enjoyed the conversation. His openness, his transparency about the challenge of going from the NBA to college on a number of fronts. We'll continue to talk about that throughout tonight's broadcast, but high marks for his first year as a head coach in Indiana.
Yeah, it's 2 totally different games.
Yep. Kopp, runner along the baseline, no good. Ike with the rebound. Ike's got 2 so far. He averages almost 10 rebounds per game. Jeffries off the catch from Maldonado, gets his bearings off the side of the rim. EK with the rebound. Back it in against Jackson-Davis. Steps off the glass. Oh, he got the angle. He just didn't get the roll.
And man, during this time of the year, got to make those layups, those points in the paint.
And then Johnson in transition for three.
Good push right down Main Street. Pulled up, might have had his foot just inside
Maybe
the three-point line or on it. I think it's going to be a three. Your call is always right. That's why I call you OG.
I looked at the official. He put up his arms.
That's always a sound approach.
Yeah, EK, he can't get it to go. Jackson-Davis, his arm in his face. Xavier Johnson.
It's going to be very important for Wyoming to start making some of those shots, to force Indiana to start double teaming, because a lot of their offense is predicated on getting teams in rotations.
Shot clock under 10. Game clock heading toward 14 minutes. Parker Stewart off the side of the iron. Rebound, though, by Trayce Thompson, and a two-handed jam.
Well, that brings the Hoosier faithful to their feet. Race with the gather. Got his power base, and that boosted him up for the chin-up on the rim.
Maldonado tries to answer and does. That's his first bucket.
And I think that's what Coach Linder was concerned about. Probably the reason why Hunter Thompson started the game.
Right.
Because he thought he could be a little bit more physical to start the game on Race.
Parker Stewart got his own rebound. Putback is off the side of the rim. EK with his fourth board already.
Is Maldonado going to bring it up the floor, play make?
Wenzel for three. Oh boy, that was a sidewinder. He splashed home.
Well, that's when they're at their best, when they're knocking down threes. They've had some struggles down the home stretch of the regular season in terms of their shooting, but they're capable of blistering the nets.
Jackson-Davis away from the right block. He's lefty. EK's lefty. Xavier Johnson into the paint, has it blocked away. Maldonado plucks it out of the air. Odin got a piece of it for Wyoming. Jeffries for three, middle of the floor, too strong.
Even though he missed that, Maldonado is really quarterbacking this game, distributing the ball.
Jackson-Davis called for the offensive foul. I think you can tell there's a lot of Indiana fans here.
Well, J.D. Collins, the head of officiating, is in the house, and tough to know the flop or not a flop, but give credit for selling it in terms of picking up the foul, the offensive charge on Trayce Jackson-Davis.
Hunter Thompson's back in. John, did you check him out?
Yeah, Hunter Thompson guys just have to go back and use the facilities. He is back and ready to play. Tom, as you know, we've all been there. When you got to go, you got to go.
Well, also, let's keep in mind, you know, he comes off the bench, so his drum roll is different. His preparation is different. He got some butterflies, some nerves. It's natural to want to head to the restroom.
Hey, get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com. April 1st and 3rd, the women's Final Four in Minneapolis. Mike Woodson, Indiana Hall of Famer, All-American, Big Ten MVP. Trey Galloway in the game for the first time for the Hoosiers. They go down low to Trayce Thompson, covered by Hunter Thompson. Backs his way in, tries to get some space, doesn't get the roll. Maldonado fumbled it out of bounds.
Trayce Thompson going to go to work here. A weight room shot. Good sit down, the lift off, the flush. Timeout.
Wyoming down one. John Rossi moments ago caught off with Jeff Linder.
Well, Jeff, it doesn't feel like we're in Dayton. It feels like we're in Bloomington. How do you counter this crowd?
Well, I've been here before back in 15 when we came here with Boise State and had to play Dayton here. So, you know what? That's what we've been all year. We played on the road. We've won games on the road. There's no excuses.
All right, have a good rest of the half.
Thank you.
His team finished 4th in the Mountain West. Such a great conference, the Mountain West. Indiana with the basketball up one. Rob Finney is in for the first time. Shot clock is at 5. They go down low to Jackson-Davis, working against Hunter Thompson over top of him, and he throws an air ball up. And it'll be a shot clock violation.
Good stand defensively there for the Cowboys, walling up, providing resistance.
By the way, Jordan Geronimo has checked into the ball game for Indiana. We weren't sure how much he would play tonight, but Mike Woodson told us yesterday that he would indeed get minutes, which is a good add for Indiana. Odin leaves it for Wenzel.
Now this gives Wyoming a chance to get into their flow offense, which may eventually lead to a post-up with Maldonado.
Yeah, against Finney off the glass. And the rebound by Geronimo. Thought maybe he would be called for a goaltend on that.
Yeah, the timing with the slap of the backboard sometimes affects the shot in terms of the reverberation. It's a good word just for you.
Really good word. Jackson-Davis. I was starting to write it down, but I couldn't spell it. Shot clock is down. Galloway to the basket. An offensive foul is called on him. Second offensive foul called on Indiana.
Wenzel moving the feet in position. The glory stat takes the charge as he gets steamrolled. Maldonado beating off the dribble, but that's good help defense.
And I love in practices when you're working on a stops drill, that would be worth 3 points.
No doubt.
You give the defense 3 points in that situation.
And the glory statistic, giving up your body for the sake of the team to get a stop.
Tamar Bates checks in for Indiana. Maldonado again goes down to the low post, has a shot blocked away by Galloway out of bounds. And it's going to wind up being Indiana basketball. Touched last by Hunter Thompson.
Now, interesting, what's your guys' take? It appears they're going to let these teams play. It's been very physical, letting the contact go. And I prefer that style as long as there's not the disadvantage.
Yes, and as long as it's consistently called and it doesn't change in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Exactly. Bingo.
Jackson-Davis fouled as he was going to try to do a hammer slam. Hunter Thompson called for the foul, his first. Don't miss the Impractical Jokers like you've never seen them before. The Jokers return with a big new episode with special guest Eric Andre, April 2nd, after NCAA coverage on True TV. Jackson-Davis makes the first. This is how he got the trip to the line.
Yeah, good rip through. Accelerates, tries to play over the top. Hard to tell where the contact was.
Second free throw. It's good. He has 4. He'll check out.
We were talking about angles. Also, in a situation like that, maybe Trayce Jackson-Davis can finish that with his right hand. When you're trying to score at that angle with the defense on your left side, you finish it with your right hand, you can potentially get an and one.
Because they know he's lefty. See, EK, no points. He's got some rebounds, though. Maldonado has just 2. EK with the ball. Spin move along the baseline. Kept his pivot foot. Nope. He beat Durr.
It just feels like Indiana has more bigs that can defend inside one-on-one. Nice job there being really disciplined. Michael Dewar.
Like the dribble weave into the high ball screen. Finney probing, exploring, good kick out.
Galloway for 3. EK takes it off the rim. That's his 5th rebound. He'll bring it up. Just your casual 6', 9-inch point guard.
And then go right into the back down dribble. Here's the cat and mouse of Indiana defensively.
They call a foul on Durr.
Well, at this pace, we may be on pace, first team to 45 points potentially.
All right, so tomorrow we'll get a chance to see Bryant and Wright State with Kiss and Pride against Holden and Basili. How about EK and Maldonado? They averaged 38 points between the two. EK trying to get his first bucket, cannot. And Geronimo with his 2nd rebound. Finney off the high screen. Finney step back, Tried to feed it in.
Yeah, tough, no angle, and to jump in the air and make a pass at that particular angle, no shot. Well defended by the Cowboys.
Wyoming quiet last 4.5 minutes.
There's that back down.
And Maldonado has it knocked away. And a jump ball. Possession remains with Wyoming.
With the combination of the physicality of Indiana, they're a strong defensive team, plus the way the game is being officiated, that's why we've got the score that we have. No one's going to the foul line.
And Wyoming's, they're going to have to mix in some cuts because the standing around when Maldonado's backing down, the defense doesn't have to work all that much. They can just stay in the same place.
Good point.
Ball stolen away. Galloway goes right to the rim. No good, but it's slammed home by Geronimo.
Give Indiana credit. They've just neutralized Ike. They've eliminated his post-up game, which is, 50% of Wyoming's offense.
Galloway called for the foul.
And right now, with both teams struggling to score in the half court, nice job here with the steal, an even better job following up on the offensive glass. When you're coming off the bench, you got to do something to get the coach's attention, and Geronimo did that on that last play.
But that'll get you some more minutes or run or burn.
Maldonado cutting Jeffries, and his three off the front of the rim. Here comes Finney. Sidewinding up the floor. Geronimo inside to Durr. He's double teamed in trouble. Galloway travels.
Yeah, Indiana had 2 dives off that post feed and just led to poor spacing, a crowd, and then trying to pass the ball in traffic. Tight quarters leads to turnovers.
But Coach Laff, I almost feel like on some of those shot fakes by Wyoming, they're shot faking, the defenders running by them 1.5 steps, maybe put it on the floor, escape dribble.
Yeah,
you can still shoot the 3, but they're standing in one place. They're not moving with or without the basketball.
No doubt.
Maldonado trying again against Finney, and that is a tough shot. Little hook shot on the baseline.
He maneuvers so well.
He does. That ends a 5-minute drought for Wyoming.
Neither team has found their rhythm offensively. That's the understatement of the night here in Dayton.
You would think maybe in the second half that Coach Woodson may try to put a bigger defender on Maldonado because the rest of the guys are not really post-up players. That's kind of where his NBA, that matchup, big defender. Here it is right here, with Bates on Maldonado.
There's the stunt and recover to close out, pressure the ball on Thompson.
Maldonado thought about the 3. Ike inside against Durr. Backs his way in. Tries to go to his offhand. That is left, and there's his first bucket.
Ike takes his time on the catch in no rush. Big fella. Let him eat. Get him a touch. Nice draw through. That's pays off from some post perimeter work.
That is not a misprint. 6:48 to play here in the first half. 13-12 Indiana. Let's check in with John Rossi, who was with Mike Woodson a few moments ago.
Woody, until that basket, Graham Ike has been held scoreless. What's been the biggest key so far to your interior defense?
Well, neither team is wanting to give. I mean, it's a grind right now. 13-12, and you got 6 minutes to go in the half. So both defenses are playing well. We got to find some offense somewhere.
All the best in the rest of the half.
All right, thank you.
I think everybody in the arena is saying the same thing. We got to find some offense somewhere. He's right. We're tied at 13.
Yet there just are no easy looks on the interior. And both teams recovering well to the three-point line as well to contest the perimeter game.
Jackson-Davis over the top of BK. Ball tipped out. And Indiana recovers. Xavier Johnson back in. Double team for a moment. Gets it to Jackson-Davis. Shot clock is at 10. They run it to the baseline. Geronimo for three. Little too much. It hit everything.
And one of the ways to find some offense is try to generate some second chance points. You know, get on the boards, get some offensive rebounds. A lot of times with, you know, depends on what your offensive system is. When you get an offensive rebounds, then you try to get a cutter cutting to the basket, maybe try to get a cheap one.
Yep, or pocket pass.
Or pocket pass, yeah.
Maldonado to Jeffries for three, short. And Jackson-Davis is able to box out Hunter Thompson, so it's 5-on-4. Johnson gets it back, shot fake for two, no good. 1 foot was just inside the line.
Wyoming's going to get organized here. And keep in mind, I mean, you look at the racing form on the season, 50% of the Cowboys' points come through Maldonado and Ike.
And Ike is going to get an offensive foul. That'll be number 2 on him.
Trayce Jackson-Davis showing his defensive chops, his alertness and awareness. He's providing help. Then he gets off and takes it on the chest. You don't have to always be set. That's the misconception. 20 years ago, being set was the key. Now, if you're given ground, you're sliding, but the offensive player initiates the contact, it'll be called a charge, and there's a big distinction there.
All right, so combined, the two teams 3 for their last 19.
I'm just so impressed how Trayce Jackson-Davis is sacrificing his body on the defensive end.
Race Thompson for three, no good.
Well, and that's one of the elements, you know, Mike Woodson talked about when he sat him down and watched film and pointed out all the deficiencies and vulnerabilities and areas he needs to improve if he wants to have a sustained career in the NBA. And that was one of the reasons he came back.
Maldonado a few spins and was able to slide it through. It's a 2-point lead for Wyoming. Maldonado has 6.
Mike said he was scared because he showed all the negative issues.
Thought he might leave him.
He said after an hour, Jackson-Davis said, as he steals that one with Thompson's help, can't get it to go. He said after an hour, he said, Coach, there's nothing good on this. He goes, well, I know what you can do good. This is what you need to polish up.
Striving for excellence.
15-15. Thompson for three. Got it.
Maldonado with the assist. You know, we see Villanova employ this. Guards, when you look at Moore and Gillespie that use that back down dribble to put teams in foul jeopardy or to play make out of it in single coverage, they go to work. And a very similar approach with Maldonado with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson was one of the best when he was with Villanova. I had a front row seat for that one.
Surgical.
Jackson-Davis wanted it. Bates goes to the basket. Bates is able to get that one to go down. It's an 18-17 Wyoming lead. Well, with Avery Johnson, Steve Lavin, and John Rothstein, I'm Tom McCarthy. 1-point lead for Wyoming. Maldonado's done this all night to the corner for Oden. Oden's able to cannon.
The precision on the passes are impressive. Right into the shooter's shooting pocket or wheelhouse where he wants it. But
how about that answer by Xavier Johnson? He has 5. He sped past the guards and was able to get it under Thompson.
I just love when shooters are in a pocket ready to knock down the shot.
Good call by Xavier Johnson to defend, pick up Maldonado, coast to coast, finish.
Jackson-Davis, yeah, he's going to the free throw line. Thompson couldn't get to the spot. He has 8. We're tied at 21.
And that's what I'm talking about in transition. The big fella saying, I'm left-handed, but I can use my right hand also to finish plays.
Tied up at 21. We take a look at our game summary. So points in the paint. We thought we would follow this. You know, 16 points in the paint for Indiana. They've had 13 touches down on the post. Meanwhile, for Wyoming, they have 6 points. They've had 9 touches. Both these teams like to get it into the paint to get it even out of the paint. Jackson-Davis fouled going into that timeout, made the bucket, converts the free throw. He has 9 for Mike Woodson.
And I think the key right now for Wyoming to continue to get their three-point shooting into the game. They've made 4 Only Indiana's won. You know, this is a team that's made 269 threes on the season coming into this game.
Maldonado got the spin move but couldn't convert. Xavier Johnson crosses over, heads to the basket, off the glass, no good. Wenzel, the rebound.
And to your point, Avery, 42% of the Cowboys' three-point attempts, all of their attempts, 42% of them are three-pointers.
Maldonado this time gets the lead.
How about a green light? How would you like to have that green light? Maldonado, everyone else clear out. He backs down, either takes the shot or he kicks it out. It's easier to get an assist or a field goal.
Well, I don't know if I would have ever had that green light because I'm not 6'7".
Jackson-Davis working against Hunter Thompson, who has 2 fouls, but EK's on the bench with 2. 11 points.
I'm just curious, guys, that what's going to happen in the last 5 to 7 minutes of the game. I don't think both teams can afford to just allow these outstanding post players just to go one-on-one.
That's a good point.
Trayce Jackson-Davis, as we take a look at Maldonado, with that shoelace crossover, good defense. Beat him to the spot, took it on the chest. We've seen some textbook defense in terms of picking up the charge, sliding those feet and taking it right on the chest.
Thompson and EK both with 2. EK's been on the bench for the last few minutes. Johnson for 3 off the side of the rim. Jeffries with the rebound.
And that's one of the things, not even.
And a technical foul has been called on Jeff Linder.
I think Coach Linder is saying he's talking to one of his players.
That's what he said. So he felt like there was a foul there. And Jeff Linder, he's out of the coach's box. But he said he was talking to his guy. So to the free throw line is Xavier Johnson. He has 6. He could not believe it.
Didn't seem as though he was out of control. I mean, seen a lot worse this year when it came to sideline decorum or conduct by coaches. That's a tough one in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and it looked like he had a wave. And sometime as a coach, you've been there. If you're telling your big guys run in transition, there's a lot of hand movement, animated. Now, sure, if you're swinging at a referee, that's the old Rasheed Wallace.
Or way out of the coach's box, or coming out on the court. There are a number of ways, taking off your jacket like Coach Katie used to and throwing it into the stands. Bob Knight throwing a chair. I mean, those are more clear-cut technical fouls, but he probably feels as though he didn't even get a good one in. If you're going to get the technical, at least you want to make it count.
Yeah, Roger Ayers just said something to him about coming out of the coach's box. Maldonado fumbles it. Here come the Hoosiers. Stewart. Entry pass, Jackson-Davis.
For the spin move here.
Yeah,
there it
was. And that'll be the 3rd foul on Hunter Thompson.
And that's Trayce Jackson-Davis' counter move when teams are sitting on his right shoulder, playing the left-handed jump hook. That's his counter step back. Step through move, baseline, patented move for him.
Yeah, feeling where the defense is and rolling off of the defender.
Missed the first free throw. Stay tuned for AT&T at the half with Nabil Kareem, Rex Chapman, Seth Davis, and Candace Parker live from Atlanta with analysis of the first half.
As Steve was demonstrating that move, he elbowed me.
I saw him elbow you.
I almost had a flashback, but I got to remember, I'm an analyst.
Yeah.
Almost had a flashback.
You almost came with the elbow to the chops. That'd be a flagrant, Avery. I want you to know that.
Wyoming calls a timeout. It's a 3-point Indiana lead. Our tournament summary, we had a front row seat to Texas Southern winning earlier today, and they'll go on to play Kansas. 9 Big Ten teams are in the field. It's a great conference. 8 former champions are in the East region. Should be fun. Here Indiana has a 3-point lead, under a minute to play, in a low-scoring matchup between the two 12 seeds. Maldonado stumbling, and he got away with a travel, but Tamar Bates is able to pick it up. Johnson, no look pass inside to Jackson-Davis, who's foul going up. That'll be DeSalle, hits his first.
It looked like Wyoming's implemented a smaller team where they can play 5 out, but unfortunately they turn the ball over, and they don't have anybody on the court that can defuse Jackson-Davis.
Guys, that's 6 turnovers now for Maldonado.
I like the fact that Trayce Jackson-Davis ran right to the rim and then made himself available with the target.
Play the official men's bracket game of NCAA March Madness. The Capital One NCAA March Madness Men's Bracket Challenge is ready for your picks. So get your bracket started now at play.ncaa.com or in the March Madness Live app. Second shot, it's good. Well, he's had himself a heck of a first half. 14 of the 28 points for Indiana.
And he doesn't force. It's very efficient.
12 turnovers for Wyoming, uncharacteristic. 6 have come from Maldonado, who learned the point guard position by playing 5,000 possessions of 5-on-5. He's just turned it over again. Bates to the basket, off the glass. No good, but Geronimo comes flying in again.
Boy, Geronimo cleaning up the misses.
Big time.
High percentage flush, a 0-footer.
6 seconds, 5 seconds. Oden, 3 seconds, tried to slam it home, and he's fouled by Trayce Thompson.
Well, Maldonado was having a tough time. He's elevating, trying to finish at the basket, out of control, and giving Indiana credit, getting out in transition. Here comes Geronimo.
Indiana showing their flex defensively, and that's been their MO. When they're at their best, it's defending, which leads to runouts.
Oden makes the first. For the first time ever, the Stanley Cup playoffs are on TNT and TBS, and you won't want to miss a minute. Watch starting May 5th to see who will raise the cup. Indiana has burned a timeout. Hoosiers lead it by 6. Mike Woodson wants a little defense. Winner of this one will face St. Mary's on Thursday at 7:20 Eastern time. UCLA, you see at the bottom of that bracket, came out of the first 4 a season ago. And Mike Woodson, Jeff Linder, both hoping to do the same. 1.9. Mike Woodson wanted to make sure that his guys boxed out, but then also put the best 1.9 seconds left offensive play together.
And the worst thing you can do now, Oden makes his free throw, is try to do something tricky where you throw the ball around half court, get it intercepted, and Wyoming knocks down a shot.
Oden makes the second free throw. It's a 5-point game. To Johnson. 1 second from midcourt, and it's no good. That Indiana will take a 5-point lead into the locker room.
And that's not a bad look. That's a play that could be used later in an NCAA tournament run on a last possession, first half or second half. And so Coach Woodson still teaching.
Well, speaking of Coach Woodson, he's with John Rothstein.
Well, what are you, much better offensive close to the half? What changed in the last couple of minutes?
I don't know about that. Both teams are still struggling to make shots, but our defense has been so solid, and it's got to be that way the rest of the way if we're going to win this game.
We are seeing peak Trayce Jackson-Davis again. He has almost half your points. What's the biggest improvement he's made from the start of the season until right now?
Well, he's been pretty consistent all year, man, and we've kind of milked him playing inside-out basketball, and we just got to continue that pace.
Thanks. All the best in the second half.
Thank you.
Tom.
Thank you, John. 30-25. Indiana is on top. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. Pretty interesting first half. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. No venue in America has hosted more NCAA games than the UD Arena. Let's take a look at the Marriott first half statistics. 13 turnovers for Wyoming, 7 by Hunter Maldonado. That's a big deal. And one of the things it does, it sort of spotlights the defense of Indiana.
Yeah, all season long, Mike Woodson's Hoosiers have brought a stout approach defensively. They've been top 20 in all the defensive efficiencies numbers. Tonight, no different. 12-0 on fast break points, fueled by their shutouts, leading to runouts, and then 11-2 off of Wyoming's turnovers. So those two areas right there have taken care of the defensive side of the ball.
Trayce Jackson-Davis seems to be taking care of everything else.
Trayce Jackson-Davis, he's playing like the best player on the floor. And his left-handed jump hooks here in the post, he's got incredible footwork. His defense from the weak side. And then in transition, look at this body control for a guy that's, 6'10", 250 pounds, up and under. This guy has unbelievable separation in the post from defenders. We'll see if he can will the Indiana Hoosiers to a win here in the second half.
All right, John Rossi, what did Jeff Linder say?
Well, Tom, he knows that Wyoming has to cut down their turnovers if they're going to find a way to win this game. I asked him as well how they have to generate offense. He said it's simple. Paint touches lead to better opportunities. Wyoming's going to continue to try and attack at Indiana inside, Tom.
Yeah, they have 9 paint touches so far. Wyoming does, and it's led to just 6 points, so that is true. They need more of that. All right, so we begin the second half. Jackson-Davis against EK, who's got 2 personal fouls. Backing his way in, beautiful spin move, too strong. Trayce Thompson with the offensive rebound and the putback.
Thompson there with the rebound in traffic, and again, doesn't rush the putback. Really gathers, takes his time, and shoots a higher percentage shot as a result.
And it's no secret what Steve alluded to. This game is being played at the Indiana Hoosiers place.
That's exactly right.
This grinded out, heavyweight fight. They're playing it at their tempo.
And EK using his left hand to get that baseline jumper from about 3 feet away. His offensive game is vastly improved from last year.
Yeah, confident on the catches, more decisive in terms of his footwork and ability to finish. I think if you're Coach Linder, you'd naturally rather be ahead, but a 2-possession game, given that you haven't really started to catch fire offensively.
Trayce Thompson cannot convert the jam. And now a foul called on EK as Thompson fell to the floor. That's his 3rd. They're going to send both teams to the benches.
The ball slipped out of Trayce Thompson's hand.
It looked like EK hooked Trayce Thompson here.
Boy, definitely is not a flagrant because it was into his bicep. It wasn't above the shoulders or in the neck.
All right, Roger Ayers is going to look at this now. I know Gene Steratore is watching and taking a look at this as well. Gene, what do you see? Is it the elbow by EK?
Yeah, you know what, and I agree with Coach Lav, Tommy. I mean, when EK is turning around, if you watch, his elbow is moving at the same pace his upper body's moving. He's clearing out a little, but I don't see that as, an unnecessary blow with the forearm. As Coach also alluded to, it's in the body, and he's real tight to the defender when he's making the spin. So I see nothing there that would rise to a flagrant level at all.
Well, they immediately decided to go and look at it. Gene, I had a game a couple weeks ago where I said coaches used to teach that sort of clearing out with the elbows. Well, you can't really teach it anymore like that when you bring out your elbows. You see the flagrant ones, avoidable, unnecessary.
You're totally right. Totally right, Tommy. And listen, from the referee's side of things now, when you see elbows and you see movement like that, you need to go, because that's the way this game has evolved now, and you have replay there. So although we know it breaks the continuity of the game up a little, you've got to work this thing on the safe side, and you need to use the technology that's available now.
Absolutely. Gene, we appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you as the tournament moves on. I think they're switching this to a foul on Trayce Thompson. So that would be his 2nd personal foul. Lab, you just chatted with the officials. What'd they say?
Yeah, Trayce Thompson in the cylinder. In other words, too close to EK. Didn't give him that space that he's entitled to. So as a result, the foul now goes on Trayce Thompson. Wyoming ball out of bounds.
Excellent officiating. Gene. Unbelievable. If I was at home and he was explaining it.
Yeah, and the good part about the review now, when you go in to look at a possible flagrant, when you have a common foul on the court, everything is in play now. So when after review, they see the cylinder and they assess it to the defense, and I think it's a great job. I agree with you guys.
EK called for the traveling violation, so the ball goes back to Indiana.
It's nice when we all get to pat each other on the back. Do something well, right? Gene's happy. We're happy.
I was just glad
Turner happy.
I was just glad I was on the Zoom for the officiating review
next year. The only guy unhappy maybe is Mike Woodson.
Johnson to the corner. Race Thompson for three, short.
It's all about getting it right.
No doubt.
You want to
win a game like this.
Yes, absolutely. It builds trust with fans.
Maldonado entry past EK, working against Thompson. Quick first move, got him off his feet, but he just powered it too much.
Well, it's that awareness. I think all the Cowboys, when they take it into the lane, the length, the size, the strength of the Hoosiers, a factor psychologically as well as physically.
Johnson into the paint, and he moves the ball back and forth from right to left and then gets it off the glass. He has 8. He knocked his teammate to the ground.
His emergence down the stretch for the Hoosiers, the difference. Last 8 games, averaging 18 points and 7 assists.
Hunter Maldonado, the high arcing 3.
And that's an outstanding read. Indiana went under on the pick and roll, what we call 2 removed. Maldonado said, look, I had 7 turnovers at the half. One of the ways to limit my turnovers is to take and make wide open shots.
Johnson just picked up his 400th point of the season, but missed on that jumper from 2. Wenzel is fouled up top by Miller Kopp. All right, here's these last 2 baskets.
Yeah, Johnson, nice show and go here. Attacked the defense that was more like a curtain instead of a wall. And then Maldonado, Trayce Thompson went underneath. That's basically target practice.
Under 17 to play. The winner moves on to face St. Mary's. Little hedge by Trayce Thompson to help out Maldonado under the basket. Throwing his way in. Shot clock is at 5. Gets it back. Launches and no good. EK with the offensive rebound. Putback is good. Count the bucket.
Yeah, no hesitation. EK with the offensive rebound off of Maldonado's miss. And able to gather, take it right back up. Here comes the carom. Good grab, secure the ball, put it off the window, and chance for that old-fashioned 3-point play. Look at the Cowboys, fired up.
EK is a 72% free throw shooter. He's recorded 14 double-doubles this year. I bring that up because he's 8.7 rebounds.
It's pretty cool to hear Coach Linder talk about his time with Coach Leon Rice and how it prepared him to be a head coach. He was the offensive coordinator back then.
Yep, Leon Rice, the longtime assistant at Gonzaga, and now at Boise State, won the league championship in the Mountain West Conference.
Jackson-Davis over the top of EK. He is 16.
I'm just so impressed with his poise.
Yeah, the game's not too fast for him.
No, on the catch, really aware, has vision, and in single coverage just goes to work.
How about the battle between these 2 big men, and it rolls off the side of the rim. Johnson quickly into the open floor, to the corner. Parker Stewart gets it out to Kopp. And now they reset the offense.
It sounds simple, but Wyoming will have to make layups. They will have to score points in the paint.
Geronimo, high post, little high-low with Jackson-Davis over the top of EK, and Geronimo, he is living above the rim tonight.
Yeah, dropping in from the clouds. Geronimo!
That's his 5th rebound.
3 offensive boards, and those are the putbacks. EK got Jackson-Davis off his feet. Wyoming wanted a foul.
I think he kept the pivot down on that possession. A couple times tonight he's been caught for the travel. but establish that pivot on the rip through and finish.
Hey guys, you know, Jeff Linder told John Rothstein we need more paint touches. That's 6 in this half so far.
Well, that means his team was listening at halftime. Always a good sign when your players listen.
Johnson splits the defense, slips it underneath for Geronimo, and he can't jam it home. He's fouled though.
He didn't jam that one, but he did jam this one on this situation. That's the way to be alert.
Let's take this power pause presented by Powerade. Well, we have a great crew here in Dayton, Ohio, and they're capturing everything as we start the first night of the first 4. Again, it's been just under 1,100 days since the last first 4 here at Dayton, and it just feels right. Lav, I think you said it before. It's like we got the golden ticket to get here.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. My favorite was the Gene Wilder one. There's been Johnny Depp did a version. No disrespect, but I'll take Gene Wilder.
You know what's so cool about this time of the year is it's not just the players, but the band gets a free trip, and the cheerleaders, and a lot of the support staff that support these student athletes all year long.
By the way, Rutgers plays tomorrow. I think they have the most band members. We watched that line of folks walk in today. Johnson, as they got the offensive rebound, whips himself in, and Jeffries fumbles it out of bounds.
Like the way Johnson maneuvered into the paint, then used his body like a shell to protect the basketball while he dribbled it low to the ground and looked for an opening. Just didn't finish the bunny at point-blank range.
You know, the one scouting report I read said pretty dynamic off the bounce. He is pretty dynamic off the bounce.
And I watched him doing his warm-up at halftime. He was really getting after it for about 5 minutes, just trying to get himself going.
Got a lather going.
Yeah, he faked the pass, got it down to Geronimo, who didn't need the backboard of the rim to get that one to go. He has 8.
Productive minutes from Geronimo and some electrifying plays on those crash tip dunks. Gives you a lift like a block shot.
EK back to the basket. Got Jackson-Davis off balance a little bit and was able to go over top of him. So he is 12.
Yeah, EK looked like he has new life in the second half. He struggled to start the game, and that's one of the ways to attack such a great defensive player like Trayce Jackson-Davis is go back at him when he's on defense.
He's caught under the basket, and Odin is there for the rebound.
Good wall-up defense by EK as well. I like the fact that they're continuing to go back to EK, even when he wasn't feeling it and confident something be said. They're going back to him. There they are.
Yeah, Dan Gavitt, the senior vice president of basketball for the NCAA, Tom Burnett, the chairman of the Division I men's basketball selection committee, set to retire as the commissioner of the Southland Conference. Did a wonderful job.
Yeah, hired back in 2002. Deserves that retirement after his leadership for decades. And Dan Gavitt, can't say enough about him, fellas. The steady stewardship, the leadership with all the factors that have collided, COVID, the transfer portal, just a NIL, all those factors. So his leadership during this period so important.
Geronimo from the backside. Parker Stewart under the basket. Pass is cut off by Jeffries, and he bangs it off Stewart, but he's able to corral it. Johnson to the corner. Geronimo for 3. He got it to go.
Geronimo is, he's like, hey, I'm trying to play myself into a next level situation here. He's playing outstanding, and when he's making that shot to complement his offensive rebounding and his defense, he goes to an entirely different level.
Yeah, he has 11, and now Indiana forces the turnover.
Indiana with some interior resistance, defense at the rim, and then after some quick ball movement around the horn the old-fashioned way, Geronimo pays it off with the buttery touch from the deep corner.
16 turnovers for Wyoming, uncharacteristic. Galloway, offensive foul called on Johnson. That's his first.
A credit to Wyoming, because sitting here courtside watching the game, you'd think they'd be down 15 or 16, and yet it's a two-possession game as we look at the Xavier Johnson offensive foul. I think he moved his feet some, used that shoulder. Got to keep the feet planted when setting that screen.
And you almost want to hear, if the gym was quiet, you want to hear that player that's setting the screen come to that jump stop so it can be really loud and exaggerated.
And another turnover for Wyoming.
Xavier's open.
Galloway gets control. Stewart. And now Xavier Johnson will reset the offense. Jackson-Davis wants it down low. Geronimo with the screen. Shot clock at 7. Galloway for 3. Short. And Jeffries lost it again. Galloway underneath. Reverse layup high off the glass. It's the largest lead of the night for Indiana.
Indiana's, they're making threes. They made a 3. Second chance points with a team that's been struggling to score. If they can manufacture some offense off dribble drive penetration, nice reverse layup.
Jeffries off the side of the rim. EK kicks it out of bounds.
Well, the Indiana Hoosiers, they got this crowd into the game. They didn't have to travel far. Galloway missed a 3, but he stayed with it. Nice reverse layup.
The first 4 continues tomorrow on True TV with Bryant versus Wright State. Then Notre Dame versus Rutgers. The night starts at 6 p.m. Eastern with the Nissan NCAA tip-off show. All right, so dynamic duos. We've seen EK and Maldonado tonight, but tomorrow we're going to see Kiss and Pride, and then Holden and Basili for Wright State. Wright State's only 12 miles away from here. Scott Nagy said what today? He said, I don't know how the University of Dayton fans are going to be, but I hope they jump on our bandwagon.
He has to hope for that regional alliance. Allies pull for one another. It's doubtful.
Jackson-Davis posting up. He'll get the entry pass from Parker Stewart. Working against EK. Xavier Johnson. 5 on the shot clock. Hesitation under the paint. Geronimo for 3. And in and out. You may have been able to hear the reaction from Bloomington if he made that one.
Just Wyoming needs to get some stops. You know, they don't have one single fast break point in this game.
Amazing.
12-0 in terms of fast break points.
EK over the top of Jackson-Davis.
As the game's gone along, EK gaining confidence on his catches.
Winner of this game will face St. Mary's on Thursday. Galloway. Geronimo spinning off the glass. He got Thompson backpedaling a little bit.
Yeah, maneuvering, but kept his feet under him. And the stop and pop off the window the old-fashioned way.
Ooh, Thompson somehow kept his pivot foot.
And the way Geronimo is playing, it's going to be pretty hard for Trayce Thompson to get back in the game, because that combination of Trayce Jackson-Davis and Geronimo, they're playing outstanding.
EK, and it's stripped going up, and he's fouled.
How about the presence of mind of EK? Alert, aggressive, anticipating, reading that outlet pass, and just jumps into the lane and picks it off.
EK tonight from the line, 2 for 2. This is only the 5th attempt for Wyoming. Don't miss the explosive new season of Snowpiercer. Set your DVR and catch new episodes Mondays at 9, 8 Central on TNT, or binge episodes anytime on demand and on the TNT app. Second shot for EK. This one, he did not get a friendly bounce. 7 rebounds for Geronimo. You can see why they were happy yesterday when they said he was going to play tonight.
He's got a lot of bounce in his step.
He sure does.
Tons of energy.
Finney to Galloway. Geronimo to Jackson-Davis. Jackson-Davis off the glass, got a perfect angle.
On his catches, he makes the ball look like a grapefruit with those big hands and then the quick maneuvering.
And we know in the Big Ten, he's seen every defense in the book, so there's no surprises during this time of the year.
They go down low to EK, can't catch it. He dropped it out of bounds. 17 turnovers. That ties Wyoming's season high.
We have nice high-low pass here from Geronimo into Trayce Jackson-Davis. That's unstoppable.
9-point lead for Indiana, John Rothstein.
Well, we're seeing, Tom, how comfortable Trayce Jackson-Davis is in his own skin, Tom. He has only attempted 3 3-point shots in his career. He knows what he's good at. He's good at what he knows, Tom.
His angles are really good. I mean, I can see why Mike Woodson, we asked him yesterday after convincing him to come back and not go to the NBA. We said, do you think he's ready now? He said, yes, I do think he's ready now. Maldonado, bounce pass to EK. Tries to clear everybody out and does.
Wow, that little gather lets the defense fly by and then takes it up for a wide open layup.
And that's one of the few breakdowns defensively off penetration. And that's when you talk to the staff at Indiana, what did Mike Woodson bring to this team and culture? Defense first.
Oh, no doubt. What's remarkable is Wyoming shooting 52% this half, but the turnovers, the empty possessions have cost them. If they get a look at the rim, they're effective. There they go again.
Yeah, they've cut this now to a 5-point game, 49-44.
Maldonado, 2-possession game now with the finish. That's the danger in the flopping, trying to pick up the charge. If you don't get the call, it's a no call. You got a wide open layup.
Mike Woodson calls a timeout. 7:05 to play. A chance to move on to face St. Mary's. Well, Jordan Geronimo was injured in the Illinois game. Didn't play against Iowa because of a leg injury. Boy, did they miss him. How about what he's done tonight off the bench?
Well, his plays have been electrifying. They've been exclamation points and then timely shooting from the deep corner on this possession, but productive, was ready when called upon by Mike Woodson.
13.7 rebounds off the bench. But hey, it's only a 5-point game. This has been a 19-19 game in the second half.
You have to give credit to this Wyoming team. They've stayed within distance throughout.
EK picks up his 3rd personal foul. 5-point game. It's the emotion of March. You win, you move on. You lose, the season's over. Pretty good game by both big men today. Trayce Jackson-Davis, 18 points for Indiana. EK has 17 points, 14 in the second half for Wyoming. As we look at our game summary, 17 turnovers for Wyoming. Indiana will inbound on the baseline. John Rothstein has been hearing into both huddles. What have you heard, John?
Well, Tom, Wyoming and Jeff Linder feel like they are right there to win this game. They feel like they have to do a better job defensively, especially on the glass. Meanwhile, Indiana's message is simple. They can't give Wyoming any threes, have to make them take tough twos, Tom.
Jackson-Davis is fouled by EK.
EK was moving the feet, giving ground, but then he reached in at the last second with his right hand, and that downward chop move right there is where he picks up the foul. But to that point, he really was playing solid post defense. That's now his 4th foul with 6 and change.
And that was one of the few times that Trayce Jackson-Davis was a little bit impatient. He didn't allow that cutter to take his defender with them. He went a little bit too fast. But it's amazing what Mike Woodson was saying about the difference in terminology from college to the NBA. He said it's just different worlds. We speak in different languages, and that's something that he had to get used to.
Yeah, he even admitted that maybe he put a little too much in early.
Yeah.
And if he had to do it over, he would have cut it in half in terms of the playbook on offense and focused more on concepts and continuing to build their defense. But he gets an A+ for his first season in changing the mindset, the culture, and bringing a defensive approach that's been successful.
There's the foul trouble. That foul was on Kopp. That's his second. Thompson has 3. He sat for a while. He's going to enter the game now. And, of course, EK's the big one. He has 4. Nice round of applause for Geronimo from the Indiana faithful as he goes out.
Yeah, and Lav was talking about it earlier. He's just exhilarating. I think that's what his name means, Geronimo. And just brought a lot of excitement off the bench, and that's why they're dominating in terms of bench points in tonight's game.
Well, Jeff Linder said they had to make free throws, and Maldonado missed the front end of the 1-and-1 there.
Well, keep in mind, as the game goes along with the 6-man rotation the Cowboys have, fatigue could become a factor when you're playing against a deep Hoosier team that plays that relentless pressure defense and a physical style of play at the rim.
Xavier Johnson called for the foul. 4th team foul. We have the shot clock at 20. Xavier Johnson inbounds. He'll get it back. Off the screen. Xavier Johnson has it cut off by Wenzel, who somehow goes between the legs of Trayce Thompson to his teammate Hunter Thompson.
You don't see that often. As a matter of fact, you tried it 100 times.
Yeah.
Might only work once.
Maldonado, quick first step to the basket. His layup, no good. They've had a few of those tonight.
Yeah, the Bunnies at point-blank range.
And when you're shooting, you know, they're shooting 53% from the field this half. Just the turnovers and the missed layups.
I think you go a little quicker. You're in a hurry when you feel the presence of the long Hoosiers capable of getting up in the air.
Ball's tipped out and saved by Jeffries. Maldonado's going to try to post up top. And it's knocked away. It's another turnover. Thompson asked for the timeout. He gets it. That'll be 9 turnovers for Maldonado. It matches his season high. It's just a 2-possession game, though. Plenty of time left. 6-point game. Indiana's on top, 50-44. Along with Avery Johnson, Steve Lavin, John Rothstein, I'm Tom McCarthy. Game 2 of our doubleheader tonight. What do you see here, Avery?
Well, you don't want to allow Indiana to get their defense set. You get a stop. You had a 3-on-2 initially, and now you're backing in. And look at Indiana's defense. They're not moving. So Wyoming get a steal. You got to try to generate some easy baskets.
Johnson has it knocked away out of bounds.
A good defense. A collapse. The help by the Cowboys was spot on. Keep in mind, fellas, big picture. Wyoming is 9-2 in games decided by 5 points or less. As we take a look one more time at the drive into the defense, just a swarm of Cowboys.
Yeah, they've played in some close games.
Yeah, so they know how to win the close ones. Yeah, they're just hanging around.
Johnson, too firm, but the putback is there for Jackson-Davis. 21 for him.
Now, we talked about Indiana. They were a bank shot away from potentially not participating in the first 4. They would probably be a higher seed somewhere else.
Maldonado under the arm of Jackson-Davis. So that's what you, Avery, would like to have seen him do before, right?
And do it consistently.
Yeah. Back to a 2-possession game.
I just don't think against as stout as Indiana's defense is, when they can get back and get set.
That'll be an offensive foul, I believe, on Indiana.
Yeah, he picked up that foul. Here's the dribble drive, the jump stop. Xavier Johnson back rims it, but a good putback. And here's the shoulder.
All right, so Thompson has 4. He's going to sit. EK has 4. He's back in.
It might have been just a slight movement of that shoulder.
Yeah. Maldonado again, and he's fouled by Geronimo. He'll get 2 shots.
Last 2 possessions, Wyoming really consistently broken down Indiana's defense. It's just really out. It's good when you got guards that can drive with either hand. They're so much harder to scout.
Maldonado makes the first. Coming up next on True TV, it's Inside March Madness presented by Buick. Nabel Kareem, Seth Davis, Rex Chapman, and Candace Parker will have the tournament talk and the first 4 analysis.
We snuck into the green room at halftime. They've been outstanding this evening. I went for a couple Twix bars, and not sure what you guys had. I had 2 cups of coffee. What a spread we have in there. I feel like a celebrity.
I soaked in Rex's jacket and tie combination. I think it was pretty spectacular
Hey,
tonight.
the glasses were on point. Whoa!
Jackson-Davis on the alley-oop from Johnson.
Woo! Talk about climbing the ladder.
Oh, my.
Is it wonderful
I
timing?
jumped out of my seat on that one.
Yeah, that was a
I
good
wanted
one.
to go and high-five him.
I had to move out of the way. You almost landed in my lap.
Wow, nice pass by Johnson. And way to get elevation all the way back to Bloomington, baby.
Indiana's on top by 7, 54-47. Wyoming has 3 timeouts left. Indiana's down to 1. Wyoming will be shooting 2 the rest of the way. So the winner of this game moves on to take on a very good St. Mary's team on Thursday. St. Mary's the 5 seed.
All you have to know about St. Mary's is the way on their home court, Moraga, they controlled Gonzaga from start to finish. So if they can do that, they're capable of making a deep run.
All right, so the officials are looking at the clock. So we went into the timeout. They stopped it because the shot clock, watch here, the alley-oop, boom. And then the ball is tapped out and the shot clock started. So that's when the officials stopped the game and say we have to go take a look at it. And it looks like they're checking it out. Nate Harris is the one who saw it first.
Yeah, Geronimo taps the ball towards the official.
And then Wyoming was going to lose 4 seconds.
All right, so they'll put the shot clock at 27. And Wyoming with the basketball down 7. Plenty of time left.
Here's that full court pressure. Indiana extending their defense.
EK and Maldonado have combined for 33. Everybody else has 14. They've scored all 22 in the second half. I don't know if they'd go to somebody else. Maldonado has the pass cut out. That's 19 turnovers, 10 for him.
Yeah, the empty possessions. That's one thing to miss a shot, but the empty possessions where you don't get a shot off, no chance to get fouled, no chance to get a second shot off the missed shot, and no chance to make a basket. And that'll kill you.
Johnson to Geronimo underneath, and he's able to fly up over the top of everybody.
Geronimo multi-purpose tonight, bringing his entire toolbox to the court.
And for a guy that's only averaging close to 4 points a game, you know,
Well,
to get double figures off the bench, man, that's 15 points off the bench.
and it's the variety of ways he's contributed.
Wenzel for 3, and he's fouled. Geronimo is called for the foul. It's going to be a 3-shot foul.
It always. So outstanding play by Geronimo. Gathered himself, didn't step out of bounds, finish inside.
Using that length. Again, we talked earlier in the first game about closeouts with high hands but having body balance.
It almost seems like when Indiana gets a 6-point lead or more, you know, on the other end, they got an offensive foul, moving screen. Now they foul a 3-point shooter.
Well, Wenzel missed the first. He has 2 more. Makes that one.
It's going back to Geronimo, fellas. Season high 13 is, well, actually, season high is previous versus Merrimack was 13. Got 15 tonight.
All right, well, they're making sure they're enforcing the coach's box for Mike Woodson.
Coach Woods is not going to listen to that. You kidding me?
That was
Mike
always
Woodson,
my problem.
a legend.
Timeout
Can't tell
called
him
by
to stay in the
Wyoming.
box.
7-point game. Kind of alluded to this in game 1 tonight, but obviously both these teams are hoping they can duplicate what UCLA did last year, what Syracuse did in 2018, what LaSalle did in 2013 with the Southwest Philly floater.
Shaka Smart with VCU in 2011.
Take the first 4 right to the Final Four.
I remember I fell in love with a kid years ago when he was in 8th grade. And I said, who is that kid? He said his name is Johnny Juzang. I said, Johnny Juzang, like he has some juju.
That's a good juju
in his game.
56-49 the score. What's up, John?
Well, Tom, I just heard both huddles. Mike Woodson's message is simple. No more straight line drives for penetration from Wyoming, specifically Hunter Maldonado. And for Jeff Linder, he's simply saying, let's score, let's be effective, and let's hold them to one shot at the other end, Tom.
That's good advice if you can do it.
Exactly. I was saying Jeff Linder deploys Maldonado in a variety of ways. So more difficult than one might expect. They've been trying to do that all year. Good double team by the Cowboys in the corner. Coach, as you mentioned before, that's the coffin corner. Press offense. You don't want to inbound it there with the sideline and the baseline acting as extra defenders.
Yes, it's 4 defenders total with the baseline and the sideline.
And the double team.
Xavier Johnson will just speed into the open court. And wow! From the baseline, Jackson-Davis brings us into March Madness.
Wow. And he had to raise the roof sign after that one. These fans are going crazy.
Came in a nasty angle as well.
Was his head near the basket?
It was kind of a Superman deal, too. Give him a cape. He's coming in sideways. This is the way to beat a press. Attack it baseline to baseline. Go right to the cup.
Yeah, and EK has 4 fouls, so he was out of dodge. Maldonado to the line, makes the first.
We call that El Matador defense. Ole.
Yeah.
Open the gate.
Nice job. Press offense the last time. Got the ball in the middle of the floor to your best ball handler.
9 of 14 now for the free throw line.
Now the clock is your friend. You don't, Indiana, if you're Indiana, you don't need to rush into bad decisions. Utilize the clock. You don't want to be hesitant or too conservative, but you just want to be smart.
Under 2 minutes to play.
Wyoming needs to generate some steals here.
Xavier Johnson under the basket to the corner. Stewart, his jumper, it's good. Largest lead of the night for Indiana. First time it's a 10.
And Xavier Johnson orchestrating as he has over the last 8+ games.
Set play for a 3.
Maldonado sizes up 3. He's fouled. Count the bucket. He'll get an extra one.
Excellent 2-man game. Little dribble handoff action.
And initially, the mistake was made when Stewart tried to go under the screen and roll. During this time of the game, when you're trying to protect a 10-point lead, you want the offensive team, your opponent, to play inside the 3-point line. So you want to war or fight over screens, explode over screens, and then once the ball enters the paint, you want to stay home on all of the 3-point shooters.
No doubt. EK buried him.
Well, that 4-point play has made this a 2-possession game again with 1.5 left and a near steal by Jeffries. Xavier Johnson up the floor. You just play this out, guys? No, maybe not. That's 3 on DeSalle. Most points in an NCAA tournament debut. Trayce Jackson-Davis, 25. The guy above him is his coach, who he says has brought light to the Indiana basketball program with 26.
Only 5 team fouls here for Wyoming, so.
Yeah, so they have to get it up there. Ball is knocked out of bounds.
They have to look at that one.
Yeah.
That could have gone either way.
Your point about the 5 fouls is that they have to get it at least up to the area of the bonus, because there's only 110 left. Did it hit the heel of Xavier Johnson after it hit the foot of Wenzel? Tough to tell.
Not from that angle. It didn't look like it. The ball didn't look like it changed its trajectory.
No.
After Maldonado kicked.
And there was no contact.
Yeah, it's
by Wenzel.
Yeah.
I think if the call was Indiana ball, which is what it looked like, it's tough to overturn that.
But now Indiana, if they retain the ball here, they have a free timeout.
Wenzel didn't hit the ball though, did he? I didn't see it.
I thought Wenzel may have touched it, but I could be wrong. Gene, do you have your microscope out? Have you enlarged it as far as you can to see what happened there?
I'm doing my best here, guys. We've got great angles, but as Avery said, it doesn't look to me like the ball changed in its possession. And also, Tommy, kudos to you. It's the call on the court, right, that we make in live action that becomes very important in plays like this. And the fact that they have called this ball out of bounds against Wyoming and giving Indiana the ball, I just don't see anything that's conclusive enough to overturn the ruling on the court right now.
Yeah, Roger Ayers is trying to enlarge it as best he can. Yep, he's going to call it Indiana basketball.
It went off his foot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His sneaker.
Roger Ayers just signaled to us what had happened.
It was good sign language.
It really
J.D.
was.
Collins would be impressed with the technique on that
I'm glad
communication.
that ball didn't go off your foot, Coach Lab, with those fancy shoes you have on.
Shot clock is at 10, and Jackson-Davis has moved past Mike Woodson for points in a debut for Indiana. He has 27.
And that was some fancy footwork by Trayce Jackson-Davis.
Under a minute to play for the opportunity to move on to face St. Mary's. Wenzel's 3, too strong. He wanted the foul, and now you have to foul.
You have to foul.
You got to get up to the bonus.
Yes, indeed.
Here's Jackson-Davis.
Feet get tangled. Might have been a travel.
That might have been a travel.
That was a travel.
Thank you, Avery, for putting a stamp on it.
I'm not Gene Johnson, but
you're the judge and jury.
Fouls called on Maldonado. Will send Xavier Johnson, a 79% free throw shooter, to the line. He's made, coming into tonight, he's made 53 of his last 60 free throws.
Well, there's still time, but it looks like the Hoosiers will move to 16-3 on the season when holding opponents under 65 points. That gets back to that smothering Indiana defense.
Maldonado up top for Jeffries for 3. Grazes the front of the rim. Maldonado with the rebound. Ducell for 3. In and out. Ike to Jeffries, who's fouled. Count the bucket. That was not a good foul by Galloway.
No, but an alert play. The presence of mind by Ike to tap that ball to his teammate. Going to pick up a rebound and an assist with that play. Ike in the second half has been outstanding. Just the turnovers. Got to go back to the empty possessions is the only issue for Wyoming.
Yeah, 19 turnovers tonight.
And if you're Indiana, you're forcing Wyoming to take contested threes. Now everybody must box out, even on the free throw line.
Off the front of the rim, Wyoming gets it back. Maldonado, step back 3. It's no good, an air ball. And Wenzel fouls Jackson-Davis.
And I think Coach Linder was very disappointed with that last 3. He was saying, you know, shot fake and drive, because you think when you're down 6 at this point in the game, and if it's 24 seconds, you know, sometime an old-fashioned three-point play at the basket is just as helpful. Yeah. Or if the defense makes a mistake, maybe you can get a 3 on the backside with penetrating pitch game.
So Jackson-Davis, 27 points. Came in averaging 18.1 and 8.2. Makes that one. He has 28. He's one of 3 Big Ten players with 500 points or more in each of the last 2 years. First in free throw attempts in the country. Free throws made since 2019.
And as Coach Woodson alluded to, they're third in open shots, getting open shots.
I got to tell you, I think Wyoming's fortunate there because it looked like Jeffries. Watch this, watch. Oh, he was pushed. Okay. So that's what they called. It was on Galloway. So that'll send Jeffries to the line. Galloway fouls out. Noah Kopp checks back in.
What I was saying, you just got a sense that if Indiana can make some more threes with the force of nature that they have inside with Jackson-Davis, man, they can advance in the NCAA tournament.
Well, they demonstrated that over the course of the year. The big win over Purdue in the conference tournament as well. Played terrific basketball. But they can advance through the brackets.
And Jeffries gets a nice friendly bounce off the rim. It's a 7-point game. Makes both free throws and a timeout called by Jeff Linder. 64-58. It's a 2-possession game. All right, you guys both coached at a very high level. You're down 6, 14.8 to play. If you're Wyoming, how do you approach these last 14.8s?
Well, you're trying to create 2 possessions. So you're going to put pressure on the ball, try and force a 5-second count in the backcourt, or try and get a steal on the inbound pass. If you don't get that steal of a 5-second count, there's not enough time to let them dribble the ball and play keep away. You've got to foul on the catch if you're not going to be able to steal it. Then you've got to hope they miss free throws and you're able to push it and do it again. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
If you're Indiana, getting your press offense, sprinting to the ball, strong with the ball once you receive it, run through the ball, do not run away from the basketball. And the inbounder, sometimes you got to fake one, make one with your passes, especially if you're going to have somebody on the ball like Odin. But you got to get open, and sometimes it's the guy at half court that needs to sprint up.
Throw over the top like a tight end.
Kopp will inbound to Johnson, and they foul him immediately.
This is always difficult at this stage, naturally, not only losing a game, but you start to think the finality of it all hits you, that this season, this journey, this team's run is over. As special as it's been, it's one of the better in Wyoming history. Coach Linder gets a thumbs up, high marks what he's done at this program. And then your seniors, players, managers that won't have this experience of playing and practicing together as they have on this journey.
And a really nice job overall representing the Mountain West Conference. It's a tough conference. Got 4 teams in this year.
Great conference. Second free throw. It's good, nothing but net. Again, he's been right on the mark these last few games for the free throw line. 10 seconds, Maldonado hands the ball off. Wenzel for 3. Caught out of the air by Jackson-Davis. That seems appropriate. He'll finish the game with 29 points, 9 rebounds, and Indiana wins its first NCAA tournament game since 2016 and will advance to the first round to take on St. Mary's.
This game was basically played at Indiana's tempo. Indiana wanted a slugfest. They didn't want a track meet. And they got a slugfest. They were able to basically get their hands and clamp down on Wyoming.
Bob Knight would be proud of this performance, and is proud of this performance by his pupil, Mike Woodson.
Well, they move on to take on St. Mary's on Thursday.
And the game against St. Mary's, that game is...
It's a good game. All right, John Rothstein's with Mike Woodson, a very happy Mike Woodson.
He definitely is, Tom. And Woody, congratulations on a great victory. Your star, Trayce Jackson-Davis, was sensational, but the lift from Jordan Geronimo puts you over the top. How big was he?
It's a total team effort. You got to give Wyoming a lot of credit. They played hard, man, for 40 minutes and pushed us. But I thought our defense held in there, and Trayce was great all night, really.
St. Mary's is next, but when you took the job at Indiana, you told me that you were going to bridge the gap between the present and the past. The present's right now. The past is Bob Knight. If you could give your mentor one message after winning a tournament game as the head coach at Indiana, what would it be?
I love the hell out of him. He's the greatest coach that's probably ever graced the college floor.
Safe travels. Thanks. Tom.
All right, John, thank you very much. Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers as they advance to take on St. Mary's. Our final score, Indiana 66, Wyoming 58. For Steve Lavin, Avery Johnson, and John Rothstein, this is Tom McCarthy saying so long from Dayton. Stay tuned for Inside March Madness, presented by Buick. That's coming up after these messages.